Hi, I'm Mr. Miller, and I am your program leader for Washington, D.C. This year, I'm doing this taping, so a lot of people have problems getting to the meeting, and I realize your schedules are busy, as is mine. And this should help give you the basic information. You will need to pick up some items from either at our school for myself or Mr. Snodgrass, and at Central, you can pick it up from Miss Whistle or Mrs. Volz. First of all, I want to get you the dates right. Return time. We'll return about 7 o'clock to 7:30 generally on Tuesday morning, October the 15th. Now, we've usually been pretty close on our time, but you never know with traffic and everything, so we'll have the kids call you a half hour out, and hopefully you'll be on time, because by that time all our chaperones will be close to death and we will have to make sure that they get home alive. So if you want to go out to breakfast, take your child with you. Don't make me wait, please. I'm begging you. Now, handouts. First of all, you'll need an itinerary. And again, itineraries change, but this is a basic itinerary, and it has two real key ingredients that you need. Number one, it has the Tour Central number on it right here. Every child needs to have that number, so in case something would happen, they would get lost or have a problem, they can always call that number. And it is 703-933-6143. It's on your itinerary. The other one tells you what hotel we're at, and it also gives you a phone number for the hotel. We're staying at Sheraton Premier at Tyson's Corners, a very, very nice hotel. And it gives you the phone number because I have a person that stays at the hotel for problems or to take care of any needs that I need. That way people can always stay in touch. They can always find me. They can find the bus drivers. We never have a problem if they have those two numbers. Going with that, each kid will be given one of these and a lanyard. Now, I don't expect all of them will wear the lanyard. As long as they have this on them someplace or in their phone with the numbers at all times, that's what is important. It has the DC number on the back here as well. Now, the second thing that we will need is your bus numbers, and those will be given out on Monday, and they're divided up in two ways. The first bus number you get will be the departing and arrival buses, and they're broken up by girls and boys. And then we will switch when we get to DC to the touring buses, and we will combine boys and girls on those buses. So make sure they know, especially on the departure aspect of it, which bus they are on. That saves us a lot of time getting on the buses, and they will be parked in the order of the bus number. So the first bus will be 1 and so forth down to 4. And I'll try to have numbers on them to help you. Another thing that you will need will be check the list to make sure your child has the medical form and contract form signed and to me, because I cannot take them on a trip unless I have those, and I still have, I believe, 11 or 12 of those out as I speak right now. It is Thursday. In emergencies, you can contact Tour Central or the hotel as parents, but don't call just to see if little Johnny's okay. Those are for emergency numbers, and they're always available to contact me. So make sure that you get a copy also of the Tour Central number and the hotel phone number. We do have doctors on staff or on call in case somebody would get sick or injured. We always have that ability, and again, Tour Central can always take care of my needs anytime I need it. They're right there in DC at all times. Another thing you're going to get is a discovery journal, and in that journal it gives you a map of DC, so it shows you where we're going to be, how do we get around. It also, the best part of it is it talks about the different places we're going to go see, and it gives you an idea of what you're looking at. And actually, if you want to do it, a lot of kids also write down memories, put down comments. It kind of acts as a journal for them if they want to use this thing. But before you go, I want parents to sit down with their kids. You guys will probably like it more than the kids do, but it actually helps them get an idea of what we're going to see, where it's at, and why it's important. You'll also need a bag tag, which you'll put on your suitcase, and that will, you put your name, actually put your name and Center Grove Middle School, it doesn't matter if it's North or Central, and put your address on that thing. Basically, it's for when we stack the suitcases from when we arrive and where we put them, so they're all put in the same place with the same groups. So I will need you to do that, get a bag tag. Yes, we will have extras for the girls. They usually take more than they need, which I'll talk about in just a little bit. What it'll look like when you arrive is you'll drop your child off excuse me, at the main lot of the Middle School North, and you'll see 4 charter buses. And again, the students have been divided into 4 groups, and they will board the charter buses for DC. Make sure, again, they know which bus they're on. Here's what you need to do. The kids need to dress very comfortably. I personally wear a pair of sweats and a t-shirt. I bring a little blanket and a pillow because I need my beauty sleep. If you take a look at it, you'll know why. But they should be very comfortable, and make sure that, and they can leave this on the bus, because once we get to DC, we'll be transferring to the touring buses. They can leave their pillows or blankets on the bus and not have to mess with it for 3 days. We also encourage you to suggest videos or bring them. However, they do have to be approved by our chaperones. We do show bus pictures or movies on the way there and a couple on the way home. And we will shut those off at a certain time so the kids can get some sleep and the chaperones can get some sleep. And so if you have some movies or the kids have movies, please bring them. Let me look at them, and I will say yes to them or no to them. When you pack, make sure you pack clothes that you're going to wear on Thursday or on Friday, but put it on the top of your suitcase, because when we get to the hotel for breakfast in the morning, you're going to change clothes in a large room, and then you're going to eat breakfast. You will not see your suitcase again until that night. So make sure you have, it's real easy if you pack your stuff on top of your suitcase and you're ready to change. We will not have showers in the morning, so deodorant's fine, but we do not have showers in the morning. So make sure that they pack everything they need on top and are ready to go, because we don't have a lot of time to change. We change, we eat breakfast, and then we start touring. Again, our touring buses, the bus drivers, I know these guys personally, and they are excellent guides. So they drive the bus, and they also serve as our tour guides. Now, myself personally, I've been on this trip since 1983 and been in charge of it since 1987. So basically, I could give this tour and probably eliminate the bus drivers, but I really like these guys. They do a great job, and but I've done this thing enough times to know where I'm going, what we're doing, and how things work. Mr. Snodgrass also has been on the trip a number of times, and most of my chaperones have been on it at least one other time. So we have a lot of experience. We know what we're talking about. I know when things don't work and how they work. Now, packing. You pack light, but be prepared for rainy weather. In other words, bring some kind of rain poncho, bring an umbrella. Guys, you might want to have a small umbrella. That's a good way to attract girls if it's raining. And you bring a jacket, you bring a sweatshirt, you bring a watch, and you might want to layer your clothes.
Ryan Stinnett, if you're in the building, please report to the front office. Ryan Stinnett, if you're in...
Okay, you want to layer your clothes because it may be cool in the morning and the evening, but warm in the afternoon. So you can leave your sweatshirt on the touring bus with us and pick it up again, because you're going to be on and off the bus all day long. Be respectful. We want the group to look neat. We want you to look like you're respectable of our nation's capital. So please, please have your child dress appropriately. No t-shirts with alcoholic symbols or anything else. Collared shirts if you can, but again, I don't expect you to go out and buy all new clothing, but please have your child dressed neatly. It's our nation's capital. We'll be going into the Capitol building, the Holocaust Museum, and other places, the Arlington Cemetery, and I expect kids to be looking good because they act better that way. Do not bring unnecessary valuables. If something is lost or stolen, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So keep them at a minimum. We don't need a lot of valuables on this trip. iPods and cell phones are permitted on the trip, but can only be used at designated times. And again, you can use now iPhones are used, or your phones are used as your cameras a lot of times, and I realize this. But when we're on the bus, I don't want to see kids texting. You don't need to. I don't want to see kids looking up stuff. When the bus driver's talking, your attention is to the bus driver. Money. The tour is all inclusive, so students should not need a lot of extra spending money. Your only money that you would need is if you want to buy an extra snack, a Coke. We will stop at souvenir shops close to Ford's Theater or some other location that have lower cost souvenirs, and we will also be at Ford's Theater, at Pentagon City the last day for supper, and it is also a 4-story mall, and some of you girls will love to go shopping there. I personally want to sit down and I want to sleep, but I can't do it at that point. From that point, we will pick up a bus that will take us back to our our departure bus, in which case we will leave for home shortly after that. Now, while touring, pay attention to the bus driver. These guys are unbelievable. They're smart. They know, they're like a walking dictionary of Washington, D.C., and when you talk, they listen. They give you downtime in which you can talk and enjoy yourself, but while they're giving you information, please listen. And again, no electronic devices or cell phones are to be used during the time on this bus. They may be, again, used as your camera, but don't bring them during the time that we are touring. You don't need to be texting or looking up things on Safari. If we have a problem with them, the chaperones are instructed to take that device, and they will keep them for the duration of the tour. At some exhibits, you'll be able to have time to search on your own. For example, when we go to the Natural History Museum or the Museum of U.S. History or the Air and Space Museum, we will tell them certain things to look for, but not everybody wants to see the lady president's dresses or see the ships that they sailed. So we allow people certain times at certain areas, and they meet us right by the door before we leave. So again, time will be important for them to keep track of the time and where they meet us. And again, I have gone here, I don't know how many times, and I've not lost a kid yet. Unless somebody wants to pay me $50, I'd be glad to leave them for you. Always hang out in a group. Never, never, never go any place by yourself. That includes the restroom. So it's always tag team. If you got to go to the restroom, your buddy, I don't care what you're doing, take somebody with you, and preferably 2 or 3 people at a time. Again, we're in some of the safest places that we can be, but I want to ensure that you're always with somebody else. There's always guards around at the museums and other places that you can get in contact with, but outside of it, you're going to be with me, but make sure you don't go any place by yourself. Be careful to put your money and your cameras in safe places. Every year somebody tends to leave a camera on a table, and we go back and it's gone, and usually very, very seldom do we ever get that camera back. Once in a while another tour group may see us and have it shipped to us, but other than that, somebody probably has a good camera then. Money, again, don't pull it out and float it around. We're not at home anymore. We like to use the phrase, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore, so it's not like here. You can't always trust other people, so be careful with your money and be careful with your possessions. Carry your blue cards or wristbands. We don't have wristbands this year, but we do have, in fact, it's not blue this year, it is red. Carry this with you, or at least the phone numbers at all times. You should also write down the hotel. You can't just say Sheridan because there are a bunch of them in Washington. Again, people we run into, we may run into homeless, very few anymore, but we may run into veterans at the memorials or at the Arlington Cemetery. Respect is the key word. Some of these people have lost loved ones. If we're at the Vietnam Wall, you need to be respectful of others. It's not like playtime where you can go running down to these different memorials. You walk and you are respectful. Security. Again, times are changed now ever since 9/11. You don't joke or clown around about security matters. You don't carry a lot of stuff with you when you go into buildings, because now every building we go into, you have to have your bags searched. So leave your backpacks on the tour bus. You leave your camera bags on the tour bus. Something small, but so that we can get through the lines quicker. Every place we go, you are searched. So make sure that you don't bring whole lots of stuff with you. Once again, key word is respect. I want you guys, every year we get comments from other groups that my kids were very well behaved. The hotels always tell me that. And other groups that I come across have always told me my kids are some of the best behaved kids we have. I want to do that this year, and I demand that we do that. And you as parents, I've brought them up right, so therefore you expect it as well as I do. Again, you don't run or scream at monuments or other places we visit. Now, at the hotel, we won't have a lot of time at certain nights at the hotel, but again, we are not the only people at this hotel, so running and screaming we don't do. We try to have a dance for you. I think we have it prepared for Saturday night, which is our first night. We will have three things actually we can do. One, kids can go to the dance. Two, the pool is open. Or three, we have set up areas where they can play cards or talk, but there is no girls in boys' rooms or boys in girls' rooms at any time. I imagine if you're a parent, you will appreciate that. You can't go back and forth between the pool and the dance and the pool. Once you're at the dance, you stay there. Once you're at the pool, you stay there. We cannot go back and forth because it causes a distraction to the hotel. World Strides provide security. They have people that are in their employment that come on duty, I believe it is 10 o'clock at night, and the hotel, make sure that we get them checked in. We check in the rooms, we tell them what time they have to be up, where breakfast is the next day, and these people stay out in the hallways all night long. So the only time your child will be out of his room is if there's an emergency or somebody gets sick. But otherwise, the door stays shut, and these guys are out there. They give me a report every morning, so I know what room is causing disturbance, what's not. And you definitely don't want to see me at 2 or 3 in the morning. It's not a good sight right now. It's even a worse looking sight at 2 or 3 in the morning. Definitely not a pretty picture. Now, the dress we've already sent you, and I've mentioned, again, I am not real picky. The weather is generally like ours, maybe a little bit warmer. Shorts are acceptable. Collared shirts are acceptable. Dress casually, but dress comfortably. 2 pair of shoes are a necessity. If it rains, you want to have a spare pair of shoes. But again, you want to dress, you look at the weather forecast, dress appropriately. You may want to bring 1 pair of long pants, a couple pair of shorts. Again, you do not need to overpack. Now, which leads me, we want 1 suitcase, and if you want to carry on, you may bring a carry-on. But please do not bring 2 and 3 suitcases. You're there for 3 days, and you're only changing each day 1 time, so make sure that you don't overpack. That's especially for the young ladies. I have 2 girls, I understand that. Another thing we want to go over is you, along with your parents, have signed a contract stating that you obey all the rules, be respectful, your behavior will be conducted in a positive manner, and there are no excuses, none whatsoever, for poor behavior or rudeness on this trip. Now, again, 99% of my kids that go on this trip are wonderful, but it only takes one to ruin your whole trip. Again, I have never sent a student home for behavior at the parent's expense, by the way. You may want to have a talk with them because you signed it that says, I can send your child home at your expense if they can't handle the situation. But again, I've never done that, but I would not hesitate to do so if the circumstance arose. And again, if there's any kind of drugs or alcohol, there's no maybe, ifs, ands, or buts. They come home and they are flown home straight to you. This is a great trip. I think your kids, I have parents that are sending their kids because they went. I have kids come back to me years later. They said they really enjoyed this trip. And in fact, they remembered as one of their favorite things that they did in school. And I personally want to make this trip good for all the kids. I try my hardest to get kids in the right buses, in the right rooms. It is an undaunting task to try to get kids. For example, I may have one person down in 6 or 7 different rooms and try to get them into the room they want. This year I don't have a lot of flexibility. The room's balanced out really close, and I can't move kids around a whole lot. So if I have to move one kid from one room to another, I have to move another kid to balance that out. It's not as easy as, well, I want to be with this kid. All right, who can I take out of that room? So please, we can talk about it. I'll do everything I can, but I cannot promise to make this the changes. We can change when we get there. I try not to, but I try also to make the kids happy, because if they're not happy, you're not happy, and neither am I. I believe that covers most of the individual things. The food when we get there, during the days, I've tried to get us at some food courts, and they'll be giving a card like this which lists a whole bunch of places that they can go, what kind of food they can get. I also try to get us at buffets at night or pizza places at night, so that it's food that your kids would eat and that they would like, and that way it serves as many different kinds of desires as we possibly can. If you have any specific questions that I couldn't answer on this video, please try to email me. Phone calls are pretty hard for me to get to. And again, you will need to pick up your bus schedules, your itinerary, your bag tags, and your Discovery ticket with the Tour Central number on that. Thank you very much. And once again, my name is Rick Miller. Bye.